What is your favorite time a day to work in the garden? Personally, my favorite time to work in the garden is evening. It is 9:30 p.m. right now. The sun has finally set. It was a very warm 32 degrees Celsius today, and now it is a very comfortable 24 out right now. I have some pink skies over there, and I thought it would be a perfect time to come with me in the garden while I lay some extra mulch. I'm using some straw for some mulch in my garden. I'm going to be taking out the remaining cabbage out of the garden and giving the tomatoes some extra room. So come with me for a little garden chat. So whether or not these cabbages are ready to harvest, the remaining 15 here, I am going to be taking them out, as I did notice that my tomatoes next to them are taking a little bit of a hit. I think because it is getting a little bit too warm for the brassicas, so they're getting covered in some aphids and other bugs, which I've noticed the bottom leaves of my tomatoes, I'll show you right here, are getting a little eaten as well. So I decided that it is time to take the rest of the cabbage out, so my tomatoes don't take any more hit. There's first little cabbage of the night there. So normally I wouldn't plant brassicas next to tomatoes, as they are normally not a friend of each other. They're not a great companion due to the bugs and nutrients that they are both fighting for in the soil. But because I planted the cabbage and the broccoli in mid-April, the plants were already a decent size because I started them in early February. I thought because it is 60 days until harvest from transplant, I'd be picking about late June. But I was not anticipating the hot weather that we got at the end of April to slow down the plants and stunt them a little bit. And then we dropped to regular spring weather and back up to heat again. So our spring has been kind of all over the map. So I was not expecting to be pulling these out of the ground so late. So it did take a bit of a toll on the garden, but I do have lots of other tomato plants elsewhere, and having these brassicas planted right next to my tomatoes so late in the game did delay my tomato plants a little bit. But I will find something else that I can succession plant right next to the tomatoes in the space a bit earlier, because I do like being able to utilize the space with more than one crop. So this cabbage head looks like I have to take off a fair bit of layers because it is fairly covered. Ugh. Usually garden stuff doesn't gross me out, but you can see my hands are covered in aphids, and this head is just loaded with aphids. So I think I'm gonna be getting rid of this one. Yeah. Normally this stuff doesn't gross me out, but this one, definitely nasty. Snip this one right off here. What is that one crop that you keep on trying every year and you're not sure if you will still grow it, but you keep on trying? This would be the one, would be brassicas for me. Trying to figure out what the best way is to harvest these too, is whether I cut the whole plant down right at the base and then the leaves up later, or what. I think that might be just a little bit easier because these plants are huge. My neighbor also has a bunch of chickens, so I will probably be handing over all these cabbage leaves to her tomorrow to see if she wants to feed her chickens with these, as I did a few days ago. We had a little neighborhood get together and I gave them all the extra cabbage scraps from the 8 cabbages I harvested the other day. I don't know how you're supposed to be taking cabbage heads off the leaves. I haven't grown them enough to know the best way to take the heads off. So if you know a better way than that, let me know. But I've been struggling on how to take these cabbage heads off without dissecting the whole plant. So let me know if there is a trick to it. I guess I could just also reach down the middle. That might be a little bit easier, I guess, than what I just did. That might be the trick to it, is cutting it right down just like that. Oh, the tough one. Okay. That's getting a little easier. Now I don't have to take apart the whole plant. Just a little bit. And still a few more left to go. But those are the last 2. That one doesn't have anything in it. And we still have... No, that one's just a mini, but... Well, there you have it for the rest of the cabbage heads. I have another 8. Some of them being still very tiny and some of them being average size. These are actually mini pixie cabbage, so they do grow a little bit smaller than they normally would for a regular cabbage size, like a Copenhagen. So I do like the small size, as they're perfect for one meal for a family there. I just cut away most of the bases here, so those would be my tripping hazard in the walkways. So now I'm just going to be covering them up with the mulch for the night there. I think I am done for the night, so I will show you what it looks like in the morning. It is now the next day, and you can see what the tomato garden looks like with all the straw laid down. So the reason I started using straw in my tomato garden last year initially was because the weeds were extremely bad, and like I had purslane popping up everywhere, and I couldn't keep up to all the weeding in here. So I pulled out a ton of the weeds, went to a local farmer and got 5 bales of straw, and I laid down the straw, and I've had pretty well little to no weeds since. But I'm thankful that I have decided to go with the straw mulch because we are now in a stage 3 water restriction, which I don't think we've ever been in a stage 3 water restriction. It is extremely strict here in the Okanagan. So in my part of the Okanagan, some of them are in stage 2, but we're in stage 3. So we are prohibited from watering any grass at all. Any aesthetic gardens, like flower gardens that are established, can only be watered once a week on drip irrigation, and any static gardens that have been just planted can only be watered twice a week. Then they changed it recently as well, as now it used to be that you could only water vegetable gardens on drip irrigation or microjets twice a week and hand water twice a week, but now they have allowed for vegetable gardens to be watered every day as long as it's on drip irrigation. So a lot of the local farmers I have seen are, one of them has converted 3 acres of their farm to drip irrigation just to be able to water their crops every day. So it is quite costly to do that. We're thankful here that when we got this place that the whole property was pretty much, all the raised beds were already on drip irrigation. So extending it here and there where need be wasn't that hard for when we're on water restriction. I haven't added any drip irrigation to our property because we already had it. So we're pretty blessed in that sense. But I am thankful that we do have the straw mulch because it is helping in conserve the amount of water we use. Typically at this point, when it's starting to get upwards 32 degrees Celsius, I'd be usually running our drip irrigation 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, but I've still maintained the 15 minutes at night only, and I haven't been watering it all in the mornings. So we'll see how long I can keep that going. I know that I could water a bit more, but I'm trying to conserve as much water as I can while keeping the garden alive. So the straw mulch I do highly recommend if you wanted to put that in your garden, not only for keeping the weeds down, but also for conserving your water as well. But another note I wanted to say, because I was pulling the cabbage last night when this video started, is that the whole cabbage with tomatoes planting was all experiment that I decided to try and do succession planting. Tomatoes and brassicas are not companions in the garden. Usually you would not mix and mingle them in your garden together. So I don't really recommend trying to do that. It was just an experiment on my part. I have a lot of garden space and I have other tomato plants. I'll show you right here, like that one right there, that is doing extremely well. But I kind of did a bit of a test on this spot this year, which is 30 tomato plants test, but I think they should recoup. With the cabbage being so close and the broccoli, I did have to cut some of the outer leaves occasionally around it so they weren't touching the tomato plants, because my tomato plants did go in a little bit late, about the 3rd week of May. Usually I would be doing about the 1st week of May is when I'd be transplanting them, but I just didn't have the time this year and the weather was kind of all over the map. But today is July 9th and I just picked the rest of the cabbage yesterday. So my tomato garden is looking back to being the tomato garden. Some of them are covered in aphids now, unfortunately, because of the brassicas, but that should be an easy fix by just spraying them down or spraying them with neem oil and it should be fine. But they did take a little bit of a toll on some of the plants, but where the broccoli came out on that side, broccoli came out first a few weeks ago, those plants have already started recouping and are covered in flowers and doing really well. Whereas the side where the cabbage is, you can see this one is a determinate tomato plant and it does have a few tomatoes on and is looking really well, whereas some of the other ones look like it got a little bit eaten. But I do believe that they will recoup and I should be picking tomatoes a bit later than normal, probably early to mid-August, but that is totally fine for just doing a little garden experiment. I like to experiment every year, and that's just the one I did this year. Would I do it again? Maybe not with brassicas, but I just was curious and wanted to see what would happen. I might do rows of peas along the backside in the spring so it's out of the way for my tomato garden, or maybe do some carrots and radishes between the rows. But other than that, I don't think I'm going to do something as big as broccoli and cabbage because they take up too much space. So there you go. That is my little garden chat video. I was able to harvest the rest of my cabbage last night and get some fresh straw mulch on here, and hopefully everything will start doing a lot better than some of these plants are right now. So if you like this video and would like to see more garden videos like this, please hit that like button, hit subscribe on the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. And like always, thank you for watching.